3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel. My name is Sky, and today I wanted to bring you all a video on the weapon that I think is going to come out next, what I think of it, and what the abilities might be. Now, a lot of people haven't even seen this page yet. If you haven't, the link will be in the description below. But what this is pretty much a huge data mine link of a lot of different stuff that's coming in the game. I've already been over this before. If you haven't seen this video, check it out. It's going to be right up here at the top right. I pretty much go over everything in that video. But I wanted to go a little bit more in depth about the weapons, because that is some very, very exciting news. Now, we have daggers, club, great club, celestial gauntlet, pistols, great sword, and blunderbuss. Now, I think the next weapon that's going to come out, I think it's very, very obvious. I think it's going to be the blunderbuss. The reason for that is because they have already icons made up, and it looks like this fills out a whole talent tree. And you know, after that, I do believe it's going to be daggers. The reason for that is because the daggers is the only one with a string key that has the 2 talent trees on it. As you can see right here, tree 1, blades, tree 2, stealth. So there's 2 different talent trees. One of them's blade, one of them's stealth. I assume the stealth one's going to be more about assassination and, you know, going behind enemy lines, and blades is going to be maybe, you know, about countering and sort of similar to the rapier's playstyle. But this video isn't about that. We're going to be talking mostly about the blunderbuss and what we think its role is going to be, and maybe breaking down some of these abilities on what they are and what they could be. Now, let's get into this. So the blunderbuss. What is the blunderbuss? Now, if you don't know, a blunderbuss is more of a short range, like, I guess, shotgun, you could say. So this isn't going to be anything like the musket. I don't think the gameplay style is going to be anything like the musket. The musket's for very far range and maybe mid-range in some builds. So the blunderbuss is, I'm assuming, even from just looking at these icons, it's going to be close range, you know, very, very close, medium range combat with some healing. Let's start going over these. Now, the very, very first one that you see is this grappling hook. Now, from what it looks like it's a grappling hook that's being shot out of maybe the gun, or maybe, you know, you take it and swing a grappling hook and pull someone toward you. Now, I'm already assuming that this is going to be a half-tank bruiser type of weapon. So, you know, we're going to go based off of that. You also have shells here with a healing icon next to it. I'm guessing that, you know, maybe, I don't know, every 3rd strike you hit heals you for 10% of your maximum health or 5% of your maximum health. You get healing based off the damage that you deal, I'm guessing. Obviously, right here, it looks like a net. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. You know, an ability that roots people, or maybe it throws an AoE net and slows people down in an area. Something along those lines where it's using a slow or some sort of crowd control, right? Following that, we do have these things that either... There's a couple different things it looks like, right? It looks like stitches. It looks like barbed wire. You know, there's different forms. Obviously, if it's barbed wire, you're probably going to place it down and people who walk over it get slowed. If it's stitches, I don't think it's going to heal you. Maybe it's going to, I don't know, temporarily give you a, you know, damage reduction on you and you know, you taking damage. Or maybe it's going to cut all the bleeds that you have maybe in half. Or maybe reduce the effectiveness of bleeds on you. I don't think this is going to be an ability. I do think it's going to be a passive. Following that, we do have a shot that looks like possibly a slow or maybe cooldown reduction if you land it. Now, the icon here is very similar to other icons that they have in the game right now, and usually that either means a slow or some sort of crowd control. That's usually what that means. For example, even the one to the right, this looks like the keenly jagged or enchanted sign. So I assume this is going to have to deal with, you know, dealing extra damage or something along those lines. Next up, we have what looks like, it looks very similar to the gravity well icon. But once again, if you look closely, it looks almost like the face of the bullet is facing you, and behind it is maybe a slow. And on the bottom, there's a circle here that looks like an area of effect. You know, that one can kind of be up in the air. I'm not really sure about that one. Now we're going to get into the more obvious stuff. Obviously right here, a bomb. Now, I don't know if this is a bomb where you place it down and then it's a short fuse and then it goes off, or maybe you throw it and it explodes on impact, or if it's going to work a lot like the sticky bomb, right? We don't know yet. But it is going to be a bomb, and you are going to have a bomb in this class no matter what. Next up, we have an ability that looks like 3 different bombs. So maybe when it explodes, it shoots out multiple bombs after the explosion, and it's sort of like a ricocheting effect. It explodes, and then more bombs come out and explodes again. Right here, it looks very, very straightforward. You get movement speed if you hit someone with the bomb. And the next one right here is you get healing based off the damage of the bomb as well. These all look very, very straightforward, thankfully. Next up, we have something that looks almost like a buckshot in a cone. I'm going to assume that in front of you, you're going to shoot out a cone, like maybe a 5-meter, 10-meter radius, a buckshot in front of you. And the next one is probably increased range on the buckshot. And then probably healing based off the damage of the buckshot as well. So you can start to see a pattern that maybe it's an ability, and then some perks behind it, and then an ability, and maybe some perks behind it, ability, perks, etc., right? So buckshot, maybe some increased range and healing on it. Then you have maybe a slug, like maybe a slug or a slug shot, or maybe a mortar shot. I don't know, maybe there's more explosives. I'm not really sure about this one yet. This one's a bit confusing. This one looks very obvious to me. It looks like a stock strike, so you take the bottom end of your gun and you hit them with it. So it does look like they're going to have a melee ability. I wanted them to have this for maybe the musket on the trapper tree, but I'll take what we can get if we can try it out with the blunderbuss, right? I'm guessing now for the next one, it does look like there's going to be cooldown reduction based off the shots that you land potentially. Very, very interesting as well. It might have very, very high cooldowns on this weapon built into it. So getting things like refreshing and some other perks maybe might be really good with it. Now moving on to the final 2, these look like ultimate perks. These to me scream ultimate perks. And it's not even close in my opinion. The first one, it does look like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Misfortune's ult from League of Legends. It looks almost like just a barrage of bullets, just out of control, like scattering, boom, 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 boom. So that can be interesting as well. Maybe all your basic attacks do AoE damage and cause more threat to you. And the next one is just the gun highlighted. Now, this also looks like a cannon, maybe. It does look like maybe, I don't know, you shoot bombs out of your basic attacks, and every basic attack is, it's an explosion that deals fire damage instead of your regular weapon damage. These two are kind of hard to tell, but the more obvious ones, like the grappling hook, the net, the bomb, the stock strike, the AoE cone shot, these are things that we can say, yeah, this is coming. So I just wanted to break some of this down with you all because it's super exciting. Now, I also think the weapon is going to be strength and dexterity based. I think it's going to be a strength main focus, and it's going to be dexterity secondary focus. So I do think we're going to have the chance to use this potentially with the musket. Now, if you pair that with like traps, sticky bomb, and maybe stopping power, and then you also have the blunderbuss where you have the bombs, the healing from the bombs, the nice AoE, the control, the net, the grappling hook. Dude, you can have a really, really fun medium armor, maybe heavy armor spec that's really good in the mid-range and really good at controlling enemies and using AoEs to its advantage. Now, obviously, when we get more information on all this, I'm going to keep you guys updated as much as possible. But I'm really, really excited for what's to come to this game with all the different weapons, the greatsword, the pistol, the celestial gauntlet, the great club, like all of this stuff. I'm super, super excited. I'm so excited to be sharing it with you all. I just wanted to bring you this quick video and maybe go a little bit more in depth and maybe theory craft a little bit on potentially what it can be. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Once again, I do stream live Wednesday and Friday night, as well as Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So stay tuned for that. My name's Sky from the Comeback Kids. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.